study has found that older people here want the state to manage matters of race and religion more closely. Younger Singaporeans prefer a lighter touch. The data was presented in an Institute of Policy Studies paper which identified race and religion to be among 5 fault lines that Singapore faces. Kelly Wong reports.
In 1964, Singapore experienced one of the worst internal conflicts in its history. 2 bouts of race riots left nearly 40 dead and 560 injured. More than 50 years on, memories still linger among Singapore's older generation. And according to an IPS study, the riots are shaping how much they want the state involved in managing such fault lines. For race, 70% of respondents aged 18 to 25 years old thought there was enough state involvement. Fewer older people thought so. When it came to more state involvement, only 1/5 of younger respondents were inclined, compared to 1/3 of older respondents. Issues of religion saw similar sentiment, with only about 20% of youth desiring more state involvement, as opposed to 26% of the older cohort. Issues of race and religion have been part of the Singapore conversation for a long time. But triggering these concerns are emerging fault lines like socio-economic status and issues surrounding sexuality. In a curious twist, younger respondents actually want the state to be more involved in managing these issues. And this, according to the paper's author, could come in the form of frameworks that already help manage race and religion, like laws on religious harmony.
We don't have a lot of discussion about what is the level of, for instance, state involvement that people want in managing these fault lines, and also the level of public discussion they want to issues. Do they feel that they're sufficient? Do they feel that more needs to be done?
The paper also delved into Singaporeans' attitudes towards these newer fault lines. For the role that religion should play in issues of sexuality, more than 60% were uncomfortable about religious leaders speaking up strongly about these matters in public. When it came to inter-class interactions, nearly 70% felt it was easy to mix with others from different income levels. However, the less educated found such interactions twice as hard. The paper suggests considering how those of a lower socio-economic status can be given more confidence to interact with those who are better off. Meanwhile, the paper indicated that respondents were less accepting of immigrants if they were closer to where they live. About 43% thought that the ideal proportion of immigrants in their housing block should be between 1 and 10%. But they were more accepting when taking immigrants in at a broad level, with nearly half putting their ideal proportion at 11 to 30%.
I think it's important for policymakers to think about how the population feels about these matters, what their preferences are, how open they are to different kinds of arrangements. If policymakers have a good handle with what different pockets of the ground feel, I think it's better to be able to both think about how policies can be better crafted, also how outreach and public education can better be directed to different groups.
The survey was conducted in Singapore between August 2018 and January 2019 among some 4,000 Singaporeans and permanent residents.